A very warm welcome to today's session, Parametric Possibilities, organized by Students Collaborative. I hope everyone here knows about Students Collaborative, but those who don't know, it's a very good initiative started by students from our department. It's a platform where we explore ideas, discover new tools, and connect through design. Yeah. So today's session is going to take us into depths of parametric architecture through the journey of someone who started just like us, a curious architecture student. Yeah. So before we begin with the main event, we have a small segment that we will be introducing in every events from now. It's like we'll be talking about a very less talked architect, who has contributed very much in the Indian architecture. And today, that architect for us will be Nari Gandhi. Yeah, I'll just share my screen. Mm. So, until then, would anyone be knowing who Nari Gandhi is actually? Mm, just a minute. Anyone who knows about Nari Gandhi? I'll just be back. Yeah, hello. So, anyone who knows about Nari Gandhi and any knowledge about him? Mm, no.
Aliza
So,
commented that he's an Indian architect known for his innovative works in organic architecture.
yeah.
Aliza.
So, if we talk about that's right, Lisa. Nari Gandhi was born in Surat to a Parsi family, and when he started his architecture journey by getting into Sir J.J. School of Arts and Architecture, but he left in 1956 to get an apprentice under Frank Lloyd Wright. And he returned to India and rebelled in India. He rebelled in India, like in sense, we can say he was not into the norms of India and the drawing stuff. He didn't get a Council of Architecture license, and he didn't much believe in blueprints and all those stuff. He used to just sketch it out on the site itself and would work very like he would work directly with the laborers in constructing his designs. And despite being trained under FL Wright, he rejected most of the Western culture. He had worked under FL Wright, who's known to have such a great influence over international design, architecture. But yet he did have a essence of FL Wright in his designs. But most of his thinking were just unique. It was not influenced by anyone, any architect or anything. He had a very unique style of designing and architecture. And he didn't use architectural drawings and blueprints and would rather, we've talked about this. And moving on to his design ideology, he believed that architecture should grow from the site and merge with the nature. Like he was very fond of organic architecture, and he'd like to preserve the natural context in the site, like trees and all that. And he believed that the building should grow, like it should not harm the site or demolish the trees and all in the site. The building should like grow like natural elements grow. Like if you have a lot of, like if you have some trees in the surroundings, and if a new tree is growing, it will not harm the other trees and grow with the whatever space it has. So he liked to design in that way. And he had no sharp divisions between indoor and outdoors and integration with nature. We'll see all of this in the buildings when we are talking about him. And let's talk about some of his famous projects. Most of his projects are basically located in Mumbai, Alibag, and all that area. And it's a very wet and rainy and coastal area, if you know. So Corley Bungalow Aliva. So I'll tell you, it's one of his most celebrated works, the Corley Bungalow and Aliva. And look at the, if we look closely at the form of the building, we can see two vaults in over here and a platform like deck with a sloping roof. I mean, it's a great form. Like, okay, we look at these stairs going, and I'll tell you a little bit about this, the basic zoning of this building. The lower areas, like these vaults and the inside areas, they're supposed to be the bedroom and living and kitchen areas. And this deck over here above, yeah, this deck is supposed to be the living and lounge areas. So we don't have a lot of time, so we'll not be discussing in depth. We'll just give a short overview. So if we look at the major design features, you can see a lot of vegetation and greenery and everything around the site. Yeah, like he tried to preserve most of the trees and all that. And in the design also, we can see that he's used a lot of geometric openings, shapes, and brickworks. And he also used materials. If we talk about materials, we can basically see that there are a lot of bricks and sandstone, which are locally available materials in India, and they're easily available. So that would be. And if we talk about this project, like it has hollow bricks. These bricks that we see here are hollow bricks from inside, and they have buttresses all over, like these buttresses. And it's a very good design. Like if we talk about it in terms of spacing and zoning and all that, and it has an overview deck looking over the ocean and all that. And moving on to the next, Jain Bungalow. I'll give you a little overview about this. Jain Bungalow in Lonavala. So, uh, a general fact about this, that the building was made without any set of actual drawings available or any site engineers include like in the process. Uh, Gandhi himself, he paid very attention, like he was very attentive during the construction. He was there at the site most of the times, helping the laborers and then constructing the building. So if we talk about the building, yeah, so most of it is masonry walls with steel struts and sloping roofs. Sloping roof, we can, as we talked about, it's in Mumbai area, yeah. So it's rains a lot over there. So it's kind of a climatic feature that we should add, like sloping roofs. And if we talk stone masonry and stone masonry, if we talk about, so it is inspired from FL Wright. He also used to use a lot of stone masonry designs, and these particular stones were like they were gotten from local Western Ghats only. And again, we can see the geometric openings and vaults and all that. Basically, it was his main feature of design. Yeah. So the next building we talk about, Rwanda House. It's a very good, like basically one of the best designs of him, because Gandhi was involved in from the beginning, like from the site selection and itself. He was there in the process, and he created a masterpiece by just, there was a lot of vegetation in the area which he chose. And just a minute. And there's a lot of vegetation in the natural vegetation in the area. But the basic principle of this is that he didn't want to confine a space within walls. Like it's much like more of a mm, like a building with integrity without walls. Like it's and if we see about the basic design features, we can see the red bricks, geometric openings, and the sloping roofs. And this is a tree which was there at the time of building, which was preserved. I mean, it's dead now, but imagine how beautiful it would have looked when it was alive. Uh, that was a short overview about some of his buildings. And if you really like him, you can check out his other buildings like Gobai Mountain Lodge, Lonavala. It was his first building he designed after coming to India, and it is a lot of inspiration by FL Wright and other buildings also. Thank you guys. That would be it. And now we'd be uh, just a minute. Yeah. So coming to the event today, it's like we're super excited to have with us Shruti, a 50 architecture student from Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Chennai. And I mean, she's interned at the renowned RAT Labs and was selected for the Smart Labs Design Research Program. She's worked on live projects using Grasshopper, and today she'll uh, be sharing with us how computational design shaped her approach. Shruti, over to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're
Yes, we
audible.
can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. I'll start sharing my screen. Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Shruti Singh. As I was already introduced, I'm a 50 architecture student right now, and I have interned at Rad Lab and work with Smart Labs also. So, before starting, I would like to give a brief introduction about Rad Lab and Smart Labs. Rad Lab is a very renowned architecture firm right now who's proficient in facade designs and working with grasshoppers. So, I'll start with my presentation. So before joining RatLab, like I didn't have much of an idea about Grasshopper or Rhino, but still I was selected for the internship firm, and it's not like you need to have idea about like parametric design, computational design before joining the firm. Like I have tried myself to explore more of architecture beyond like architecture design itself. Like I have tried to work with RTF research and rethinking the future for architecture writing, and I've worked with Building Energy India also, who has more of hands on sustainability and analysis stuff. So it's like you need to approach how you want to take architecture, not on design basis too. And my first encounter with computational design was in third year, if I'm precise. Uh, Mr. Sushant Verma, who is also the principal architect and co-founder of Rat Lab, he came to my institute as a keynote speaker. So that time I was sitting with the audience and watching him speak. So he explained very nicely about all the computational design stuff and what do they work upon. So that was my first time explored to so much of architecture. It's not about only design, but it's also about how you take design to a different level. And how did I get into my internship? That's what I'll tell you now. So, as I said, I didn't have any knowledge about Grasshopper Rhino before. And I was honest in my interview as he asked me, and I said I had very less knowledge about Grasshopper Rhino, but I'm eager to learn. And that was the main point. They selected me. They saw my portfolio and how I have like explored myself in various field of architecture, not only working on only design or academics work, but exploring myself in different fields. So he was interested, like I have eager knowledge and curiosity of learning things, and that's why I was selected for internship in RATLab. Now, how I was selected for Smart Lab program. So Smart Labs is also one of the initiatives taken by RATLab itself. So in this, they have openings for students and even professionals who are practicing architects and even designing people. So if you join that program, they'll help you start with the basics of Rhino, Grasshopper, Maya, and right now they have introduced a course of AI too. So these were few of my projects which we did on the first level of assignment. That was like using Rhino, like basics of Rhino, and doing few of the sculptures. So these were few of my installations too. And then next step as we approached were few of the grasshopper, like these as you can see, these are benches and table, which was an assignment how we could fabricate it. And these were all created using grasshopper, not Rhino wasn't installed in this. And these are few of the examples like how we can use. There's one software like I would tell, you can transform an image into a model using Grasshopper. So this model was created using that, and these are few of my models. And in the Smart Labs program, we have an assignment at last that would be showcased in the exhibition, the final exhibition where everyone who has practiced from starting till the end, they'll showcase their work. So this was my sheets. So for this time, we had a brief of developing a high-rise residential structure, which would be located in Mumbai. So site would be upon us, like what we should choose. So this the image which is there, we needed to generate conceptual images using Midjourney. So they taught us Midjourney, AI, and how to like proceed one by one using Grasshopper tools, Rhino, and Midjourney. So as you can see, this part here, like I tried to generate few of the iterations. So how it proceeded. First, it was more of a structural, like more of conical structures. Then I went to fluid stuff. And this image here, which you can see, is actually generated fully using Midjourney. And after that, how I proceeded to do Grasshopper over it. So from the form, how it's coming out, we'll go to how we will design it in Grasshopper. So this was fully designed in Grasshopper and how step by step we proceeded doing that. And we were told to generate more renders using any AI software. So this here you can see is a mid-journey image. But as I use ChatGPT also, so ChatGPT gave me this image of more of a rendering, and it even gives you zoning and top view too. And at last of the exhibition, we'll have a combined assignment of working more of a bigger project. So this was an installation which we were told to do about facade design for parking area, but it would be like a 4 feet by 4 feet installation. So these were few of the mid-journey shots which we took for conceptualization of our designs, and these we generated using Grasshopper. And so this was our final installation, how these curves came and how each coin, like you can't use this coin and place it here. So how we can manage our data and how we should give it to the CNC cut guide, because this everything is a CNC based structure, and we should be clear about how we are naming it. So otherwise, if we are not naming it correctly too, it would be very hard to assemble these structures. And this is a short animation. This is also done using Grasshopper. So Grasshopper won't directly give you a video, but it will generate you a series of picture which you can combine and make it a video. So this was a mesh structure, and using different parameters, you can generate these kind of animations too. And what and all I got to learn were like these were my final exhibitions. We went to site visits and we had a talk with the contractors too, like how this is one of the famous projects of RATLab. It's Headfield. They designed the facade and we talked to the contractor like how they have tried to assemble the structure, as not all the contractors in India are well versed with these type of structures like curvilinear structures. So he told us about what were the difficulties, what they were forced to do. And we even had CNC cuts, site visits, and 3D prints in our house. And I'll show you my internship portfolio for the. So this was my internship portfolio. So this the cover page is also generated using Midjourney. This was one of our major projects which we were working, a Hub Ganga Tower in Varanasi. So the facades, as you can see, the curves which are generated, and even the top and the commercial area. This is actually a residential building with ground G+2 as commercial area. So we were told to make a facade design which would go with the concepts and flow of Varanasi. So here, the facade is actually generated using Grasshopper, so it won't affect much of a balcony space, so it won't affect the view. These were the few of the images and iterations which we did. And I'll show you what we used Grasshopper to analyze the structure. So BOQs, the BOQs which we were working around, we had to calculate all the structural details like running length of steel members. So this is the Grasshopper script. These were few of the iterations which we created for crown and commercial area, and we needed to calculate the exact length of each steel members. So using Grasshopper scripts, we can actually take out the final data very quickly. If you want to change anything in the model, it will be directly reflected in the Grasshopper, and like you don't need to sit and calculate each and every step. So Grasshopper, like it makes it very easy for a person to work. Like if you have like many changes or even a slight change won't affect your design much, like it won't take your time. And these were few of the iterations and working models. And there were like RCP structures too. Like it is a G+33 structure, and we were told to make RCP plans for each of them. So what we did, we made a simple Grasshopper script so that wherever we are getting the curves, it will protrude inside. And as you can see, these were the RCP structures coming out. So we had to make like 34, 35 plans individually. So you can directly input the curves and the flow plans, and it will give you, these all are generated by Grasshopper. We haven't actually sat on the AutoCAD or worked on it. So it becomes very time efficient how you work and how is the workflow going. Few of the other structures. This was also one of our projects of facade design. And I'll show you the Grasshopper used in it. Yes. So this was one of the design which client liked, and he wanted it to be more randomized. He didn't want much of tiles, so we used Grasshopper to randomize the structure and randomize the facade. So we gave few other options, and even if you can see in this facade, behind this facade there would be glass fittings. So glass fitting is like these pictures as you can see. So that was also generated using Grasshopper. So if they want a certain type of pattern in it, it can be created like easily. And in our firm, we are very open to use AI and any other stuff to make our workflow more easier. So this, as you can see, this render we have created using AI, and we model. And sometimes, if it's easier for us, we'll go for AI renders too. And these were few of my work. Yes, and 3D printing also one of the major parts in our workflow. So they will tell us to print anything. Like if you are new, they'll tell you to take any jewelry or anything that will help us to know the workflow of how you take 3D prints and how you can optimize the material usage. And they'll make you understand what is the material type and what temperature and how you can minimize using the wastage of the material. So these were few of the models which I worked upon, and these were actually 3D printed there itself. And yeah, the site visits which I was talking about, we had the contractor meet and he said how they actually worked upon. It's like majorly they even work in factories and directly they import it on the site because that's more feasible for them. And this was the CNC factory visit. There also they explain how the machine works, how we can minimize the wastage, and how we can use this in our design. And few of the other India design and IDAC, we were part of it. In IDAC, we were actually showcasing our one of our works, Aquamorph, and we were given a stall and we were told to design it. So this part of the booth, as you can see, it's actually modeled in Grasshopper, and we went for the CNC cut, and this was installed, and this was actually the model and all the banners in it inside also. We created it and we sent it for the printing. So we had a hands-on experience with the CNC cutting guy and printing person. So uh, there's a flow of working that you get to know in firms. And as I showed you these pictures, these are all the Grasshopper script which we did. Yes. So I would like to say that these things are not what, like, if you want to join an architecture firm, which is more of a parametric firm, you don't need to have a prior knowledge. That I got to know, and it's not very late to learn anything. Like I am in fifth year right now. I did my internship in fourth year. While joining Smart Labs, it were like 2, 3 students were there, and mostly it were working professional people. So we even talked to them, and they also told us that even they wanted to learn new things. So that gave me hope that there's nothing like you can't learn at even an early age or at later age. So if you want to learn something, like it can be at any time, and you just need to show the curiosity of learning. If you don't want to learn, it won't be possible, but if you are really interested, they'll help you in any aspect. So this was my presentation.
Thank you very much, Shruti, for the wise words. And if anyone would like to ask anything from her, like any doubt or stuff. I think that will be it. Thank you very much, Shruti, for the insightful and inspiring session. We hope everyone leaves today with something new, whether it's a tool, a concept, or just motivation to explore new things. And a big thanks to all of you for being such a great audience, and to Mariam for the beautiful poster that brought this event to life. Thank you, everyone. See you until next time.
Thank you.